There is a major cleanup going on in parts of Quebec and Ontario this morning after a powerful and destructive storm. Some of the overnight pictures out of Montreal this morning were showing you winds there gusted up to 90 kilometers an hour, strong enough to knock over large signs and to create scenes like this one in a local parking lot. Tens of thousands of customers lost power. Here are the latest numbers from Hydro-Quebec, dealing with just over 30,000 customer outages right at this moment. And in Ottawa, emergency crews were busy through the night responding to calls as well. Trees and power lines knocked over one roof, ripped off a home entirely. And again, for power outages in Ontario, nearly 38,000 customers are still offline this hour in the province. Specifically in the Toronto area, winds gusted to almost 100 kilometers an hour. That was strong enough to snap a large construction crane in half, and it toppled to the ground. Bricks from this home in Oshawa, take a look at this video posted on social media, literally ripped off the side of that house. Now, I can tell you this morning the winds have died down, but as I mentioned, lots of cleanup to do. And Linda Ward is on the story for us. She's in Mississauga, and this is perfect because, Linda, if there was a symbol of just how strong those winds were yesterday, it was that crane we just looked at, snapped in two, and you're right there for us today.
That's right, Heather. This crane behind me really twisted and bent here this morning, just sort of snapped in half like a twig. And that happened as winds topped 90 kilometers per hour. Those gusts were pretty strong. I was out here yesterday afternoon and there was some snow coming down. Those winds bringing down all kinds of trees and power lines and all of that. But this crane came down and luckily nobody was hurt, because when the winds picked up, the people who were on the site here, well, the job was called off and they were sent home. The Ministry of Labour is now coming in here to look at this. They're going to be looking into just what happened, but the company itself as well is going to be looking into what happened from their end. They say they're cooperating with the investigation, but certainly a big cleanup underway here today. That is going to take a long time to get this crane down, but part of the cleanup operation that's going on across the province today. Trees brought down, we've seen signs brought down, as well as we were driving up here even this morning. There are signs sort of strewn all over the sides of the roadway. The trees that came down brought down power lines as well. We saw bricks being ripped off the sides of buildings and homes that were under construction even being toppled as well. So lots of cleanup today. The wind warning was called off at about 8 o'clock last night, but people certainly griping about what was some wicked weather yesterday, Heather.
I was thinking of the people for whom yesterday was recycling day, and that was a major situation. Lots of things strewn about as well in a number of Toronto neighborhoods. I was mentioning some of the hydro numbers, Linda. Those have been changing quickly as the numbers have actually diminished through the morning. Where do things stand right now?
Well, for Toronto, the customers that are under Toronto Hydro, they're down to only about 110 customers that are offline. That's down from 21,000 customers at the peak of the windstorm yesterday. 80,000 people, though, with Hydro 1, so sort of a larger area of the province, they were offline yesterday, and they're sort of starting to get back online now. It's been very difficult for crews because with the winds, they weren't able to get up to the power lines in those bucket trucks. You can imagine just how dangerous that kind of operation will be. But they were working through the night. They are starting to restore power very quickly as we go through the morning, but they certainly do have some work ahead of them, Heather. Now that the wind has died down, they're able to really get to that work. But certainly lots of griping, as I mentioned, people sort of starting to wonder with the snow, with the wind, and we are expecting more snow as we head into the weekend here, Heather. Just what happened to spring?
Exactly. Malarkey. We're still in winter as far as everyone is concerned. Linda, thank you very much. Linda Ward at the site of that toppled crane for us in Mississauga.